So that's it. This is Nigeria right now. Action.
The famous Abia tours, where you know the motto of Abia State, God's own state.
There are 4 main funding options for every state. It's even the constitution, the allocation, internally generated revenue, grants and loans. So if you wanted to attract grants and friendly loans from development partners, especially outside Nigeria, your processes have to be sufficiently transparent. They need to see your books. 1, 2, you need to be upfront with your counterpart funding. And it takes a lot of courage to be upfront with counterpart funding. Many states don't go far because they seem to value their 1 billion or 2 billion over and above the bird in the bush, as it were. But I decided to check all boxes. So I paid 1 billion, almost 1 billion, counterpart funding to New Map.
To
New Map.
Okay.
And that gave us an offer of about 98 million US dollars to do almost 10 roads and do tunneling in the most vulnerable part of Abia, in the Agro floodplain.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, the COVID years came. So the contractor couldn't procure the boring equipment to do 5 meters beneath the houses in Diego and do a tunnel that would have been 6 kilometers in length to waterside. That would have been the first of its kind in this part of the world. So Turkey, where they were procuring the equipment, shut down throughout the COVID period and they couldn't. But however, we went and renegotiated with World Bank and they decided to give us more roads. So a total number of about 10 roads. Ungwa Road, Obohe Road, Aja Road, Ibadan, Onyebuchi. Total number of 10, Orata, 10 roads.
10 roads.
In an area that had not seen asphalted road in 65 years. So, and these roads have been done, most of them. Some of them are, about 1 or 2 of them are ongoing, but the rest are ready.
Okay.
So, and because of the fact that we couldn't get the boring equipment, we couldn't draw down on the 98. World Bank took back about almost 20 million US dollars. So, but we were able to draw down. The contractor was able to draw down 70 something million US dollars. Let me also say it here that these funds are not available to the governor or the accountant general. World Bank.
It goes straight to the project.
Exactly, it goes straight to the project. World Bank monitors milestones and pays. In fact, milestones are considered and approvals for disbursements are usually given from Washington. It has nothing to do with the state government. So it's not even possible that even a state government that is careless, you can't have access.
Okay.
So, but the benefit to the people is what is profound.
And it was attracted by the government.
Exactly, attracted by my government. And so it's a facility for 30 years at less than 2%.
Okay.
So if anybody sees any funding that is more friendly than that anywhere in the world,
2%.
2%. I'm spread over 30 years. And there's another one.
Okay.
I'm sure that as I exit office on May 29th, the incoming administration will have 50 million US dollars or thereabouts to do 500 kilometers of road. Counterpart funding, all the processes, everything done. I may have the glorious opportunity to do the flag off,
Okay.
but the bulk of the money will
Be available
for
the
incoming administration. Here again, the interest rate, it has 10 years moratorium. Okay. So during the life of this the incoming administration is not going to pay one dime. Okay. And then spread over 20 years. Okay. And less than 1%, 0.006% interest. You know, so it's more or less something that is given to you to the work and all of that. So these are some of the things that this administration has achieved. So the third one is African Development Bank. Okay. That is the one that is targeted at sanitation, stormwater management, and Port Harcourt Road in particular. That has not dropped as I speak, but just at the verge of, I'm sure between now and December, that'll be ready.
So as you're exiting, it's going to drop?
Of course, so my effort, the effort of my administration on Port Harcourt Road was just a stopgap effort to make sure that things keep happening, because that particular road, people are passionate about it. But to have done drainage end to end, and I'm sure that as that facility drops, Port Harcourt Road will be a thing of the past also. So these are some of the things that we have achieved and we have left in stock. I'm going to hand over to the next administration. I'm usually very reluctant to do a post-mortem on the government of my predecessor. Okay. The reason is that it is on account of the things he wasn't able to do that I was employed by Abians on the 2015 in the first place. But suffice it to say that every government, once you come, you will see some deficits in terms of infrastructure. Yes. You will also see a few things that were undone. In terms of Naira and Kobo, I can't, there was really not much to inherit. I didn't expect much because a government that is in the process of working for the people has to spend money. But I inherited a fairly stable state. I inherited a state with great prospects and with great opportunities for an incoming administration to make impact. So I quickly went to work to set up what I thought was going to be a foundation for me to stamp my own signature. Yes. Part of what I needed to do was to find a way to deal with the civil service bureaucracy. So we set up an Abia Economic Advancement Team, which is a backroom team of experts and private sector people to advise, first of all, to turn all my dreams to work plans, and then to develop strategies that are scalable, strategies that that can be uncoupled, strategies that can be realigned, and then do some monitoring and evaluation. So to bring down the neck of the civil servants to say, if you're unable to do this within this time frame, then we have a team that was ready to,
Just seeing you driving, sir, it's amazing, really. It's amazing.
Well, I do this often. Wow. I do this often, that the difference between Ikpeazu and the governor. The one that is permanent is Ikpeazu, the governor is the permanent. That one will soon go. Oh. So this is Ikpeazu.
You will never sorrow. You will never cry, and you will never mourn. It is well with you.
God bless you.
Jesus'
Thank you, sir.
name. I'm so grateful.
You won't take away patience from him. You won't take away humility from him. You won't take away listening ear. You won't take away humor. You won't take away trying to please everybody. Because they will never want to hurt when it looks impossible, he will try to find a way.
He's an exceptional human being in many respects. I'm not sure I've ever had to deal with a man as humble and humane as Dr. Ikpeazu. He treats everybody the same. He listens intently and intensely. And in listening to you, you may not realize that you are speaking to one of the most brilliant men in the world. And I mean that. This is a governor, like I can tell you, as of today, he has done more than 230 completed road projects in Abia. 130, and I have the list. In fact, the first time we made that compilation, even me, as somebody who has been around him since 2015, I was shocked.
As you're exiting, what angles do you think that you can push further, narrating your story?
Thank you very much. Let me start by admitting that we were a bit media shy, and I've said it, I think, before, that my background as a teacher prepared me not my words to go ahead of my work, but my work should go ahead of my words. But I have learned that there is nothing like silent achievement, and there's nothing like my work will speak for me. That is why at times even you get to hear about e-projects or audio projects that don't exist on ground, but people mount them and as if they were. So I take that blame. But beyond that, sincerely speaking, from my soul and my spirit, I'm a happy man. Whereas I will take the blame for not shouting from the rooftops, but I'm a happy man because I'm a man of very strong convictions and strong conscience. And once I am happy with what I am doing, that I have executed an honest day's job, I go to sleep that day. But the good thing about our philosophy is that we came with a mindset that we're not going to abandon any project, or rather, we're not going to allow the projects of my predecessor to suffer, because what is at stake is the taxpayers' money. And it is a mark of irresponsibility for any leader to walk away from a good project from his predecessor. So there are a few projects which I inherited from my predecessor,
like the
that we're working
I
on.
understand, like the government house, the new government house.
The new government house.
We are replacing the graphic bungalows that were built in 1956 with a two-story multi-specialist hospital in these ancient premises. I commissioned the Abia multi-specialist hospital. I pray in the name of God the Father, Amen. God the Son, Amen. God the Holy Spirit. Amen. Amen. Amen.
Ikpeazu has done a lot in this state in terms of health sector. in all the local governments. He has refurbished, he has renovated, he has reconstructed, and he has constructed all available health centers that needed, support in the whole senatorial zone. So I give kudos to him. He has transformed health in this state.
These projects have been unveiled, and today we're having this conversation about when you're just going to exit office. Are you fulfilled?
Yeah, I am a very, very fulfilled person. Extremely fulfilled. In the sense that this was a journey of 96 months, and that I am first healthy. 2, that Abia has remained very safe and secure. And 3, that I have been able to walk till the last day, the last minute of my time in Abia. Gives me a special sense of fulfillment, because I promised Abians that I was going to resume on the first day in 2015, and that I was going to give every minute of my time as governor to Abia. And I have kept that promise. Again, that we've been able to complete these projects despite the challenges that came with this transition. It's a testament to my belief and what I preach in politics. I preach a few things in politics which I want people to know me for. One of them is peace and what I call social mobilization. My approach to dissenting voices is different. I believe in tolerance as part and parcel of democracy. Tolerance is important. Abians will miss a very, very tolerant leader. A leader that believes in the power of persuasion, conversation, discussions. It may take time.
A leader that has empathy.
Empathy for the people. I'm completing Foxtrot today because of my empathy for the average trader in our area. Because by the time we were set to complete that project, we had the lockdown. After that lockdown, people had stayed at home for several months and they started complaining. We, at that time, had done binding course. It was looking beautiful. If you see it, if you're not an engineer, you think the road was ready. But the engineers advised me in Ministry of Works that that was just the binding course, that I should wait for them to establish the wearing course. Otherwise, that the road will fail. But Area was sending delegation that I don't need to, that I should just open. So the better part of my benevolence overtook me, and I opened that road. And the road, of course, failed. But it also gave me the opportunity to now deploy rigid pavements on some sections of that road. And I can guarantee that that road will stand the test of time today. I went to teach, as I do often, and a secondary school girl who I was trying to share some thoughts with them in their classroom. And when it came to the time for questions, I asked the pupils or students, do you have questions for your teacher? And one of them raised her hand and said, sir, that she has heard so much about Dr. Sam Mbakwe and that she thinks we need to immortalize. And I gave her my promise at that moment.
Constructed and commissioned by the Ikpeazu on the 28th of May, 2023, to the glory of God. Yes, start this road in the name of God the Father,
Amen.
the Son,
Amen.
and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
I pray that all those who will fly on this road will find prosperity.
Amen.
They will find good health.
Amen.
Bad ones will not see.
I never met the man called Fox. I don't know where he comes from, and but for whatever contributions he made, we appreciate. But talking about contemporary development of Igbo land, we need to bring to the fore these icons and these leaders that served us well and served selflessly. That is why we now renamed. So finally, I want to be remembered as somebody whose commitment to the people has nothing to do with the outcome of an election. If I say that I'm going to deliver X, Y, Z, it doesn't matter what the outcome of the election is, I will certainly deliver X, Y, Z, unless something happens that is beyond my control. This is why I'm a fulfilled person. All the promises, 90% of the promises I made to my people, I delivered on them.
One will now wonder, okay, I haven't done all this. What next going forward?
As I always say, I have 3 options. The first option is go back to Abia State University and resume my lectureship work.
And that's your first love?
Yes. Of course, I have indicated to my department that I was getting ready to come back. But in the interim, I'll need to sleep for 2, 3, 4, 5 days, and then play a little bit with my family. It might interest you to know that I have a little granddaughter.
Yes, well done.
Yeah, so
she'll have time with her granddad.
Yes, and you can't believe it. My little twins now, the boy and the girl, they started playing soccer, but
wow.
I was watching them on video, and they wouldn't even let me carry them. So I have time to do some bonding.
Yes.
And then do some little bit of family work, and then I'm contemplating, depending on where the wind of adventure takes me. I want to do a book on evidence-based leadership or scientific leadership, because that paradigm of leadership has helped me. We have been able to solve a few problems that had defied solutions before we came, just by thinking strategically. So I have quite a few things in the border, to do. Luckily, I'm still very strong, and I think I'm ready.
Experience, they say, is the best teacher. You have had the experience of being governor for 8 years.
Yes.
So this person who is coming now is just more like a fresher. Is there some footnote you leave behind? Is there something that you leave behind for this person to pick?
Certainly. I'm ready with my handover notes. I do not know if a handover note can be comprehensive, but we try to put a lot of annexures, attachments, and we try to also lead out to the direction that we think Abia need to go. But most importantly, I did not have the privilege of a roadmap, when I took over. But today, Abia has a long-term, 30-year long-term development plan, which somebody can just flip through, and if it makes sense, that's okay. So it will be difficult for anybody to identify where we are coming from and where we are headed. The beautiful thing is that Abia is today the 3rd best state in Nigeria in terms of multidimensional poverty index. Abia is the 2nd best in the entire Southeast in terms of maternal and infant mortality today. Abia, under my watch, reduced maternal mortality by 71% and increased attendance in primary health care by 35%. Abia State University is number 2 amongst the schools in Nigeria. We have done 1st position in WAEC back to back for about 5 years or so. So these numbers cannot be a fluke. We were able to reverse enrollment back from private schools to public schools by over 600%. So these numbers cannot be a fluke. We are the safest state, certainly, in this sub-region. These statistics cannot be a fluke. So there must be something. There must be something. How come that this is an oasis of peace in the southeast?
So how did you
How
do it?
come?
Leave that word for whoever will take it. How did you manage having this level of peace in your state? So the person can continue from there.
Three-pronged approach. You must speak to youth engagement, because the energy they need to work is the energy they also used for crime. So engage them. So for me, it is about energy management, engagement. And you must engage them in things they like to do. Shoe, garments. I have an ICT hub where at every instance you have over 250 youths trying their hands on the computer. Officially, I provide broadband internet access to them for them and all of that. And they are there in Abia. And they are doing marvelous things. I have somebody who graduated from that group who is worth about $10 million US today. He has relocated to UK. You know, because he developed an app for something and they bought it and all from Abia here. You know, so you must do that. And then this capacity building for them, E4E, education for employment programs. And that is one leg. The other leg is to deepen your intelligence and your intelligence gathering apparatus. And the final one, which everybody sees, is the kinetic approach. You know, and then in this kinetic approach, you must also, because this is a democratic dispensation, you must be on hand to make sure that you see what the law enforcement officers are doing and to control high-handedness and the interface between the people and law enforcement officers. Because we've been forced to put soldiers out there in the public space, which is not supposed to be ordinarily. So there has to be somebody who moderates what they do and how they engage. Many people do not know. Perhaps this is about the first or second time I'm revealing it to the public. The traffic lights, of course, we were the first people that put traffic light in Abia. The traffic light on some locations on our streets has CCTV cameras. But these are things that ordinarily one should advertise on the television. But we refrain from such because what do I want to achieve? Is it the mileage in terms of security or the mileage in terms of publicity? Publicity can wait. Let me achieve my result. I cannot be going to war against you. And because I love publicity, I come out and tell you the capacity of my armament. Is it to enable you prepare better or what? Some of my brother governors, on the day they launched the bag, went full blast on air, and it was credited to them as success. But at the end of the day, is it achieving what you set out to achieve? But the day I launched the bag, I launched them quietly.
And you have been able to utilize
exactly.
the
I launched them quietly and gave them mandate because I asked myself, what do I want to use them for? I cannot be arming them against their kinsmen. That's not what it is. You know. So these are some of the things. The rest are contained in that.
That's why I say, you know, what we're doing with you today is not necessarily an interview. We embarked on a fact-finding mission to Abia State. And we have gathered a lot, really. And we're privileged to also be part of your last day in office.
Yes,
so for us, it's a privilege and we appreciate it. And we have a special gift for you. Because on camera, I told my crew that, when we did the Nigeria Right Now Colloquium and Awards Night, we considered those governors from the 6 geopolitical zones who have done well. We also thought that, okay, it's not enough to go by the reports in the media, like you rightly say. What about those who are not out there in the media? You're one of those. That's why we embarked on the fact-finding mission. And after we did all this, we agreed with the board of directors of the award that Ikpeazu haven't kept his state sanely safe, peaceful, and all of that, that in governance, welfare and security of lives and property is key in governance. So that you have succeeded in these areas, and so you deserve to be given the award for best governor Southeast. And I know that this is a surprise. And I am happy that he's coming on your last day in office.
Yeah.
Please, sir, accept this little gift. This is appreciating a man who has worked.
Thank you.
You did well, sir.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Please.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Wow. Wow.
Congratulations.
Wow. What a day to receive our
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sir.
Thank you.
We
Thank
appreciate you.
Thank you.
And may God keep you in good health.
Amen.
I haven't served in the Abia.
Amen.
Bless you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. May the next government succeed.
Yes.
I also say, may God bless Okezie Ikpeazu.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
God bless.